tonight.
Jamani. Ajali.
Precision Air passenger plane crashes into Lake Victoria as it attempts to land.
Bukoba.
Uganda is still on track of launching Pearl Africa's Sat-1 satellite into space.
And that mission is being undertaken by NASA, the American agency.
Civil society organizations speak out against keeping displaced people in camps. Government accused of violating rights.
These people need to be resettled. They need to be taken to safer places.
And in sports, national netball team impresses, takes 5th place at first 5 World Series championship. A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on PM Edition. My name is Bernadette Pio. On sign language is Isaac Luchamozi. We start with some rather tragic news. A Tanzanian passenger plane has crashed into Lake Victoria as it attempted to land in the lakeside town of Bukoba. The Precision Air flight was carrying 43 people, 26 of whom have been rescued and sent to hospital. Rescue workers and local fishermen are on the scene as the search for survivors continues.
Emergency and rescue workers rushed to the aid of the people who were aboard Precision Air ATR-48 plane which crashed this morning in Lake Victoria as it tried to land on the runway of Bukoba Airport. Following the accident, President Samia Suluhu Hassan was quick to express sorrow and grief and sent out a condolence message to those affected and called for calm as the rescue operations continued. The plane was flying from Tanzania's biggest city, Dar es Salaam, to Bukoba via Mwanza when it reportedly encountered a storm and heavy rains.
Kuna jumla ya watu 43. Katika hao 39 ni abiria, 2 ni wahudumu na 2 ni mabani. Kwa mantiki hiyo ni watu 43. Na hivi ninavyozungumza tumekwisha fanikiwa.
According to reports, the plane was carrying 43 people when it plunged into Lake Victoria, and of the 43 people, 39 were passengers, 2 pilots and 2 cabin crew members were on board the PW494 from Dar es Salaam. Earlier today, it was revealed that 26 people had so far been rescued, according to Tanzanian officials.
Tumegusa chini ili angalau tupate utaalamu mwingine wa kina tuweze kuipushi hiyo ndege ili angalau iweze kutoka. Mpaka muda huu bado kuna mawasiliano ndani ya ndege. Kwa mantiki hiyo ni kwamba marubani bado wanaendelea kuwa na mawasiliano. Kwa hiyo tunaendelea kumuomba Mwenyezi Mungu pamoja na teknolojia zetu pia tulizonazo. Tumekwisha wataarifu viongozi wetu wakuu akiwemo Mheshimiwa Waziri Mkuu wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania ambaye pia mashughuli hizi hasa masuala ya maafa yako chini yake.
Precision Air is Tanzania's largest private airline and is partly owned by Kenya Airways. It was founded in 1993 and operates domestic and regional flights. The plane crash comes just days after officials from the Civil Aviation Authority carried out a mock drill involving the simulation of an aircraft that has veered off the runway and caught fire to test the efficacy of different agencies while responding to emergency situations at Entebbe International Airport.
May their souls rest in eternal peace. Now, Uganda is still on track with plans to launch its first ever satellite. The launch of Pearl Africa's Sat-1 satellite had been scheduled to take place today, but has been postponed to the 7th of November.
The launch of Uganda's first ever satellite, the Pearl Africa Sat-1, was scheduled to take place today at the Mission Control Operations Center in Dallas, Virginia. However, this did not go according to plan.
Houston now controlling. Atlantis begins its penultimate.
While addressing journalists in Kampala, today the Minister for Science, Innovation and Technology, Dr. Monica Msenero, revealed that the delay of the launch was caused by triggered fire alarm at the mission center.
That rocket was supposed to take off in Virginia, and that mission is being undertaken by NASA, the American agency. NASA to take our rocket to the space station, to take our satellite to the space station, and then That is why we are saying in December it will be deployed. So we'll start collecting information. So as we were ready, and you can see the rocket that started, the launch pad, the rocket is attached to the launch pad, and then it is fired, and with that energy it goes into space. As they were preparing, the fire alarm went off. And that is not a signal that they can allow to continue. So NASA called off the launch, and they will try tomorrow again.
Minister Msenero also revealed that the satellite was built by Ugandan engineers with assistance from Japan Aerospace Explosion Agency. The Uganda scientists who were part of the projects are Edgar Mujoni, Boni Omara, and Derek Tebusweke.
Having a satellite is a very, very important milestone for every nation. It's like having your own room in a home. When you have your own room, you can shut the door, you can do everything.
The PAL Africa Sat-1 will be relayed on for research and observation data in 6 primary areas, including weather forecast, land, water and mineral mappings, agriculture monitoring, among others.
Satellite is like our own special station. The skies are full of satellites from every nation. And the importance of satellites is that they send information. Now, when you don't have your own satellite, you have to buy this information from those who own. And the information is expensive. So you only buy a little of what you need. Now, having our own satellite means we have our own room. We will be the primary recipients of all the information that comes from this satellite, and we will get it. Also, the other advantage, when you have a satellite, now you can talk with your neighbor. Can I get the information from mine and also from yours? Because you also have something to share. So the importance is you will now have this full package of information concerning our space in Uganda.
Plans to renovate the ground station in Poma Mukono, which was constructed by the former President Idi Amin in the 1970s, have been unveiled since it will be used as the receiving station. The development of the satellite is part of the joint global multi-million baht satellite project that began in October 2019 after President Museveni directed the development of the National Space Agency and Institute. Safi Mokele Baluku and Lubega Ibrahim Kasinga, CTV, PM Edition.
Medical interns under the umbrella body, the Federation of Uganda Medical Interns, have today come out to demand for their salary increment, which was promised to them by government. The intern doctors have now given government a 3-day ultimatum to fulfill its promises.
Last year, the president directed for the increase in the monthly pay for intern doctors from 750,000 shillings to 2.5 million Ugandan shillings. The presidential directive, contained in an August 9, 2021 letter, was addressed to the Prime Minister, Ministries of Health, Finance and Public Service, but to this date, the promise has not been fulfilled.
The intern midwives, oi! The intern doctors, oi!
In a press conference held this morning by the Federation of Uganda Medical Interns and their counterparts from Uganda Medical Association in Kampala, they have given government a 3-day ultimatum to fulfill the presidential directive.
We are giving government 3 working days to make sure that all our concerns are addressed, and within those 3 working days, we are only going to maintain emergency services in all hospitals. Why? Because we don't want Ugandans to die.
According to their president, Dr. Musa Nasul Lumumba, medical interns have demanded for an increment in their remuneration, as well as improved general working conditions, only to be ignored.
I'm not going to be a president who is going to let his people earn less than what the president promised them. Dear medical interns in this country, I promise you, I'm not only going to make sure that you have light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm going to fight to ensure that we have light throughout the tunnel.
You take photos that you can see.
The president of Uganda Medical Association, Dr. Samuel Odong Oledo, has urged government to respond quickly to the demands of the intern doctors, revealing that they need all the help they can to get during this time when the country is facing an Ebola outbreak.
government comes up with grateful and fast resolution measures to make sure that these individuals, the medical interns, are back in the hospital as fast as possible. Because we do not want them away from us. Right now is the time you don't want any health worker away from the hospital.
Government has also been urged to consider employment of the medical interns.
A presidential directive was clear. Let's have health workers deployed to health center 3s. This has never seen the light of day. These interns have 5 months to finish. But their deployment is out of the roof. You don't know if they are going to be given jobs. When we have only 40% staff.
We thought our future was secured by His Excellency the President of Uganda. Why are we not sure of the jobs we are going to get after internship?
If the demands of the medical interns have not been fulfilled, they will go for on strike.
For 7 months we have been quiet. We did not want to be a lot that makes the strikes and does this and that. However, we are tired and we are going to have to strike because clearly that is the language they understand.
The first and what is affecting us most is the salary disparities among us as interns. We shall not get tired of quoting the letter from the President that was dated 9th of August 2021 that directed that medical interns countrywide should receive half of the recommended pay of public officers that are in the respective cadre.
This is not the first time medical interns have threatened to go strike. Last year in November, they went on strike under the umbrella Federation for Uganda Medical Interns, demanding for an enhancement of allowance and payment of arrears. The strike was called off in late December of 2021 after government promised to meet their demands. Tony Patila Humza, CTV, PM Edition.
Interns oi! Oi! Interns oi! Oi! Ra! Ra! Interns must survive.
That story takes us in for a short break. More when we return.
Do you love me?
Very much.
I'll catch you one day. Pants down.
I want to spoil you. I want you to eat my money.
She believes I'm in love with her guy. Nico? If I had to live everywhere I'm not loved, where would I end up? The dirty guy hides in the hospital for 40 years, but at night, he walks the streets, commits crimes, and then he comes back and pretends to be alive again.
I will break you, Spooky.
Do not answer any question about Roho kwa Roho. Use your brain!
Now showing on CTV. Don't blink.
It's it in the air! Will that be set?
He's done it! What a magnificent performance!
Recharge your day with Sting. Extreme energy, refreshing taste, available countrywide. Sting, live switched on, from the makers of Pepsi.
CTV is now on StarTimes. You can now catch all your favorite programs, our daily comprehensive news bulletins, and so much more on StarTimes channel number 248. Stay tuned for a world of endless possibilities. CTV, don't blink.
Welcome back. You're still watching PM Edition. Now, civil society organizations in Kasese district have spoken out against the continued detention of internally displaced persons in different camps. According to activists, this move is a clear violation of the right to good shelter.
Since 2020, more than 300 people have been living in camps in Kasese district. Many of the people said to be living in the camps are people who lost their homes to floods and landslides that have been taking place. According to Rehema Ariema, one of the flood victims encamped at Mohocha Transit Camp, life in the camps is not easy.
When it rains, it affects us a lot. It affects the older persons, it affects the children. Sometimes when it rains, the children will take only one meal. That is either lunch, either breakfast, if it happens to be there in the household. Brings the trauma back of the floods because of the trenches that are within the camp.
Since 2013, more than 100 people have since been killed by disasters in Kasese, and bodies of at least 6 people have never been recovered by their families. Many of the people who lost their relatives and homes are now pitching camp here.
Ndugu wangu ya haki kwa kuomba usaidizi kutafuta huyo mtu, yani tunajua watakaiwa na suspect sehemu ambayo anaweza kakua ndani yake.
The Prime Minister promised us in her words, and we were very eager. We thought that maybe in 2 months we shall be leaving this place. And he gave the task to the district. But we have never received any information from the district that they have got the land. Either they are going to take us here or there.
Because of the deplorable living conditions within the camps, members of the civil society led by the Executive Director of Creations Forum Africa, John Keshan Mohindo, are demanding for the relocation of the internally displaced persons.
People in those conditions for all that years is infringing on their rights. These people need to be resettled, they need to be taken to safer places. I think it is just taking too long for people in and camps like that to be resettled.
I think something to do with the disaster policy has to work, because we are looking more of response than preparedness. So we wait until we receive the disasters, that's when you see people acting. But if we can look at preparedness first before response, I think there we can do something.
Several civil society organizations led by the Foundation for Urban and Rural Advancement and Creations Forum Africa through the Emergency Relief Fund and Oxfam have also visited Kasika village where 16 people perished in landslides in the month. The activists also say they need help in food items and other essentials such as soap, sanitary towels and water purification tablets, washing items, saucepans and jerry cans.
Nyamwamba for all these years has been a disaster. But one of the reasons it has been a disaster is because we have neglected Nyamwamba. The Canadians, when they were here, they used to silt the river. They would remove the silt. But for all the years we've been here managing Nyamwamba, we have not done the silting. So every year, the silt is increasing and it has to flood. So we have a responsibility to ensure that Nyamwamba works. Nyamwamba is silted.
In a bid to partly solve some of the deplorable conditions within the camp, government and a number of well-wishers have been delivering relief to the encamped victims.
In news from the region, the COP27 summit has today kicked off in Egypt, while the Democratic Republic of Congo has announced general mobilization of youth to tackle the M23 insurgency.
Delegates, organizers and observers were in the Egyptian coast resort of Sharm el-Sheikh on Sunday for the start of the COP27. Behind the picturesque setting, the venue has become a tightly controlled fortress as the climate conference gets underway. COP27 is being branded as an African COP, where the positions of African countries on issues like finance, for adapting to climate change or adopting renewable energy sources will be central to the talks. The United Nations Weather Agency says 116 million people in Africa's coastal states and islands face rising sea levels, and by 2050, African nations will need to spend $50 billion every year on climate-related impacts. Nearly 200 nations will be in a Sharm el-Sheikh, but talks will be dominated by the growing need to support virtually blameless poor nations where lives are already being claimed and economies devastated. COP27 will run from November 6th until 18th. The Congolese army has announced a general mobilization of youth from the March 23rd move who are gaining grounds in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. It follows calls by DRC President Felix Tshisekedi for youth militant groups. At a news conference, Democratic Republic of Congo Army spokesman Major General Sylvain Ekenge said the nation is in danger and it needs its worthy sons and daughters to serve it under the flag to defend the integrity of the territory.
La nation est en danger.
The nation is in danger, he says, and it needs its worthy sons and daughters to serve it under the flag.
The M23 advances have displaced an estimated 183,000 people in the North Kivu alone since October 20th and destabilized relations in Central Africa. Foreign ministers of the DRC and Rwanda agreed on Saturday to boost efforts to de-escalate tensions and resolve the political crisis with the DRC, accusing its smaller neighbor of backing a rebel militia.
On the international scene, Russia's held Nova Kakhovka Dam was damaged in shelling by Ukrainian forces, Russian news agencies reported, citing emergency services.
Russia's state-owned news agency TASS quoted a representative of emergency services as saying that a rocket launched by a US-made had hit the dam's lock and caused damage. The official quoted said it was an attempt to create the conditions for humanitarian catastrophe by breaching the dam. The reports provided no evidence to support the allegation, which could not be immediately verified by Reuters. The vast Nova Kakhovka Dam, which blocks the Dnipro River upstream of Kherson, where Ukrainian forces have been making advances, has taken on vital strategic significance in recent weeks. Both Russia and Ukraine have since October repeatedly accused each of planning to breach the dam, causing explosives in a move that would flood much of the area downstream in what could likely cause major destruction around Kherson city.
We take another break. Sports is up next.
CTV is now on StarTimes. You can now catch all your favorite programs, our daily comprehensive news bulletins, and so much more on StarTimes channel number 248. Stay tuned for a world of endless possibilities. CTV. Don't blink.
Thank you for staying with us in PM Sports tonight. The She Cranes have finished 5th in their first edition of the first 5 World Series Championship. The highlight of the day came though when the national netball team defeated Australian team, who were the champions of this tournament, in their first game today.
The She Cranes have managed to secure 3 victories in their first ever First 5 World Series Championship, a feat that has helped them finish 5th. The highlight of the day saw the ladies' national netball team defeat world number 1 Australia, who eventually won the whole tournament. The She Cranes defeated Australia 32-30, following an outstanding performance by goal scorer Mary Noba. Nuba was voted the best shooter. The tournament says they will keep on getting better given this was their first tournament.
We won by 2 points and it was really amazing to see that we had that performance in the first 5. It's like nobody beat Australia yet, but we went out there and showed what we can do, and I'm really proud of the performance today.
Uganda lost 27-22 to South Africa and played Jamaica, whom they beat 32-10 in the 5th place classification. Shikrin's head coach Fred Mugera commended the team on its performance despite the various challenges.
Today's game has been good, and I think it is because of what transpired yesterday that these guys are a bit annoyed, and we are still waiting for the outcome of the results of the match of yesterday, what the committee is going to decide upon. But I think that one also gave us that encouragement to come out strongly, and which we did, and I think it's a very good sweet win that we have.
This was Uganda's first time to take part in the first 5 World Series Championship, and this saw them improve their 6th place ranking. Australia defeated South Africa 34-20 in the final to win this year's edition of the first 5 World Series Championship.
That story brings us to the end of tonight's edition. As always, thank you so much for your company. Have yourselves a lovely night.